Hey folks, Brian. Today I'm doing a little commentary about this being the 25th anniversary of LA Riots. If I talk about it. Um, as I'm recording this is the today is the is basically what would have been the first full day of the riot. The riot began on Wednesday evening. On a Wednesday evening, um, April 29th. Uh, April 29th, 1992. I was 26 years old. And I was, and I remember how everything began. I was sitting at work, enjoying my coffee break, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they came back with the verdicts. And I remember listening to it, and when the first verdict came back, not guilty, I said to myself, God damn son of a bitch. Just like that. And every time they came back not guilty, I kept on saying the same thing. God damn son of a bitch. Because they were getting away with, those four officers, were getting away with being a guy almost half to death. I mean, let's face it, Ronnie King, even though Ronnie King was not a saint, no man deserved that. And once that happened, I came out and I told everybody at work that there's gonna be some shit going down tonight, and there was. I got home. I went home first to you kind of get a bite to eat and then to relax a little bit before I went up to my night class at West LA College, and we saw the first kind of inkling of what was happening in Florence and Normandy, which was the flashpoint of riot. And then I get home, you get to classes, we would take classes normal as usual. Then we take our little hour, take a break after an hour. Then we get back inside and the professor tells us we have an order to send everybody home because there's a riot going. There's essentially a civil disturbance going on. And excuse me. There was one lady who lived not too far from me, and she was going to catch a bus home. But the buses had stopped running, so I gave her a ride home. So I told her, look, I'll give you a ride home. And we're driving along, and we get to Slauson and Angeles Vista. And I can see the first inkling of trouble, and there's smoke rising up. And another thing I noticed was that 7-Eleven was closing. If 7-Eleven closes, something bad is going on. So I drop off at her place, and I get back to my house. I was taking Crenshaw, and the first building I see burned down is the Firestone Tire Store. Then you get to 54th and Crenshaw, and I see a bunch of people coming from the east, making a left on the Crenshaw in the direction of towards Slauson Avenue. I made a right on the 54th and took a back way home, and by the time I got home, that's when I saw that Slauson and Crenshaw was on fire. They burned down the Thrifty, which is now a Rite Aid, a store called National. They started to burn down Boys Market, which of course is now Ralph's, but the fire never caught. They stopped it before it really started going crazy. And that was it. I said, okay, hopefully things will calm down. The next morning I get up, I go to my car and it's covered in ash. And after I get home, I also see that, I see smoke off in the distance, and it turned out there was a couple of stores that my dad used to frequent when he would go get his meat or something like that to cook dinner, to do barbecuing with. The next morning I get up, my car's covered in ash. I look down towards Crenshaw Boulevard. You could, and I had my even used my binoculars. You didn't see anything. You couldn't even see where Taco Bell was. And it turned out Taco Bell was burned out. They burned it during the night. And I said, I'm not going to work. I went back in the house and sat with my parents. And we were watching the news, watching everything, and then all of a sudden I heard kind of like a boom in the distance, and next thing you know, the power was out. We were without power from Thursday morning to Saturday night. And during that time, it was like we could tell all hell was breaking. It said all hell was breaking loose. We had the radio. We could, listening to some reports about, looting and all that stuff. And the only time I ever left my house was to go to a market to get some ice because our refrigeration was out, and to go to church, and the church on Saturday evening. They were still having masses, thank God. The next, then everything, and as I said, by Monday everything had pretty much calmed down. I went to work and everything, and I looked at some of the buildings that were burned, and it was crazy. It was like a war zone. And as a result, I think over 60 people died, there were thousands of people who were arrested, billions of dollars worth of property damage. And I just got upset because, you're burning your own neighborhood because of what a bunch of idiots. Plus, let's face it, they also targeted Koreans, especially because of what happened 2 weeks after Rodney King's beating, when a little girl by the name of Latasha Harlins was shot by a Korean grocer. And the grocer wound up getting off on manslaughter and didn't even have to, and got probation. And people got upset about that. And the Korean community, I felt sorry for those people. They built their businesses, but yet there was this perception they didn't live in. They would come in the neighborhood, didn't put back in the community or whatever, and they were hiring, and many of them were hiring African Americans, or so a few were even hiring African Americans, or they would hire their families, but still they were one of the few stores that were still in the neighborhood where people could buy stuff, because the big supermarket chains weren't in the neighborhood. Ralph's and Albertsons and Vons didn't come back in the neighborhood till after the riot. Or should say Albertsons came back before the riot, but Ralph's and Vons, they had left, and then, they did come back in certain of the poorer neighborhoods. And after that riot, I said, and I was like, saying, why can we do this to each other? Don't get, you shouldn't have gotten upset about everything. To tear up your own neighborhood, to burn up your own community. Now I've got to say, go out and burn up Beverly Hills because you're upset at other people, but let's face it. You're tearing down. Instead of trying to build relationships, those people were just destroying it. Those that got caught up in the riot were destroying it. And I'm not going to sit here and say things have gotten better, because let's face it, here we are 25 years later, we still have poor education in our schools. Crime is, it says going down, but still you hear, about things going kablooey. I mean, I don't think I'm trying to think if gang violence has gone down, but you don't really know what to think anymore. But And of course, we have a president who, instead of trying to build relationships right now, he is probably one of the most divisive individuals ever. And unfortunately, right now, we could be seeing conditions coming back for another uprising. And I pray that we don't have one. I like to consider is give you solutions for whatever, except for, education, jobs, and trying to better relationships between all communities, between all people. Yeah. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. I was giving you a straight off the hook, straight from the heart. So, anyway, thank you, and just hopefully we won't have another one of these major uprisings.